watching the Zadaza Entertainment Network on ZenLive.tv.
Go!
Going on, Jets Nation? You are back live on Flight 5 Live again. This is Nick alongside with the rest of the crew of Flight 5 Live. What's going on, everybody? Hello.
Ciao, ciao.
Everybody, I think everybody's just amped up because we have a really special guest today. I don't know if you saw it on the Twitter all week, but we will have the 2012 inductee of the NFL Hall of Fame, Curtis Martin, joining us around 7:15. So we are really ready to talk to Curtis.
Yeah, man.
You know, he doesn't do a lot of these. He's not really in the media much often. So when we got the word that he was going to come on, you know, we flipped out. So we're all definitely ready for that. So we'll talk to him around 7:15. We're going to do a lot about Curtis today. We're going to take your calls around 7:30 after the call with Curtis. I'm also going to announce the first winner for our giveaway that we did over Twitter. I have that winner right now, so I will do that after I'm done talking and everything. But the number to call in at 7:30, plug it into your phones, 914-595-4871. I want to go around the room and say, what's up, everyone? Say a little something to everyone out there. Just, Brian, we'll start with you. Give everybody a shout out there, because I don't know if everybody's familiar with everyone yet.
What's going on, Jet Nation?
He's pacing himself.
I'm locked and loaded,
He's locked in for Curtis, man.
I'm ready, man. I'm ready.
Are you pacing yourself?
No, I'm good.
Frank, how about you?
I'm excited, man.
You look excited.
Because you know what today is, right?
Oh,
what?
Here we go.
Yeah, it's National No Penny Day. and I know Nick was excited for that one.
Oh yeah, very
So it's gonna
excited.
be, you know, you can't have a better day than National No Panty Day and Curtis Martin on at the same time.
Nice.
Like, come on, man, it's awesome.
Christine, bring the decorum back to the show.
Yeah, I was like,
Thank you.
I was sighing over here very heavily. It's also National Chocolate Eclair Day.
Is
so,
it really?
Right, Nick? Or Bill? See?
And National Onion Ring Day too.
There you go.
Yeah.
Those are far better days.
You can't have
There are,
100
there's time.
different national
What
things.
kind of combination is that? Onion rings and eclairs and no
I don't know.
panties?
That's
not too
a
hygienic.
hangover.
Sounds like a night at my house.
Jeez, Frank. Oh my God.
Frail. Hey, what up? How's it going, everyone?
Bill, say hi.
Beal.
Hi guys, left from the couch.
Yeah, I love the couch shot. The couch shot's very classy, though. If you could see everybody out there, if you're watching here on Zen Live's Ustream, you got the Curtis Martin helmet right there signed. Thanks for Brian for bringing that in.
Absolutely.
Very, very nice piece of memorabilia. But anyway, we're all here. We're ready to go. We're going to do a lot of that. We're also going to, you know, talk about a little segment we're going to do later on. It's called our Jets Hall of Shame. You know, we're bringing you the Hall of Fame with Curtis Martin talking around 7:15. We're also going to bring you the Hall of Shame. So that's going to come up after the call with Curtis later on. And, of course, our He Dead segment. If you can see the He Dead board over there.
He did.
Last week's nominees, of course, Matt Mulligan, Darren Rovell, Trey Wingo, and Mac Miller. We can't mention them throughout the show.
What a
I can
group,
only
huh?
mention them right now. They are dead.
That's true.
So that's the last you're going to hear of them, but we will bring you that later in the show as well. Again, the number 914-595-4871. This is Flight 5. We're all here. We're ready to go. Curtis Martin around 7:15. But before we get into some Curtis moments and everything, I want to announce the first winners for the Curtis Martin tickets, the Hall of Fame giveaway that we ran on the website. I want to give a shout out to Steiny31. Follow him on Twitter if you're not already. Hooked us up with a pair of tickets here. And we really appreciate it. So Steiny, good looks on that. But the first winner, I don't know if you're listening, we will tweet it as well. We hope you're listening. It's Ricardo Rodriguez. It's at DJ First Class. So Ricardo, if you're listening, if you're not, congratulations. You are going to see Curtis Martin.
There's going to be a lot of us out there too.
Yeah,
we're going to be out there.
We have a
August
squad
4th.
going.
August 4th in Canton, Ohio. Unfortunately, we don't have the funds to get you out there. We're not paying for your train. We're not paying for your plane. We're not paying for anything like that. But you have the tickets. So once you're out there, let us know. We'll meet up. We'll say what's up to the Flight 5 live crew. It'll definitely be a good time. So that's at DJ First Class. We will tweet it out in case you're not live with us right now. But congratulations.
Great Twitter handle.
Are you guys ready to talk to Curtis? I mean, it's just like, it's surreal because he's one of the best Jets of like all time.
Not even that, just a good person on and off the field.
Yeah,
Exactly. One of the best players of all time.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I thought Brian was going to cry earlier today.
A little bit.
You know, I thought it was gonna. You know, he's gonna be down in tears.
It's a man. It's a man cry.
Of Curtis Martin and your breath.
Is it that
I got
bad?
the crust today, man.
I'm glad I'm sitting all the way over here.
I think we all man cried when we got the news, though.
Except
Yeah,
me.
it's unbelievable. It really is.
Yeah, absolutely.
Christine didn't man cry.
No, Christine really cried.
Yeah.
Like tears.
Do you guys hear the thunder outside, by the way?
Crazy.
pretty
Crazy
crazy.
weather driving up.
Yeah.
It was like it was 98 degrees, I think, over the past 3 days. So I hope nobody passed out over there. It's a little hot in here, but you know
It's a little swampy.
Yeah, but you know we'll get through. But anyway, we're gonna announce another winner. We have the second winner. It was randomly selected, so there's no David Stern going on over here. We can promise you that. So that will announce the second winner after Curtis's call around 7:30ish. So definitely stay tuned for that. But guys, around the room, obviously we've said Curtis at least 100 times already. What? And I'll start with you, Brian, because like Frank said before, you were this was a touching moment for you. What was your, when you think of Curtis's Jet career, even Patriot career, the 2 years he was there, what do you remember most about Curtis's career?
The one game in particular that sticks out was December 14, 2003. We were 5-8 at the time. The team wasn't really good.
Shocker.
We were going up against the Steelers, who were heavily favored. I was at the Meadowlands that day. It was snowing like crazy, and Curtis came out and does what he does. What he does every week. He ran the ball 30 times for 174 yards, caught 4 receptions for 54 yards. We ended up winning the game 6-0. But I mean, and we finished the season 6-10. But that just the kind of play that Curtis was. No matter how bad the team was doing, he came out every week and laid it all on the line. He just put it all out there. It was a great game. That one sticks out in my head.
Game.
Yeah.
I was at that game too. That was an
Brian,
awesome
you were there
game.
too, right?
I was there. Yeah, I was there with my cousin Anthony. We went there with Simon, one of our friends. Simon. He drove us there, and we moved down because everyone left as it was snowing. It was a blizzard. It was bad. So I remember we went to sit behind the end zone. We were right behind the end zone, directly behind, and my cousin Anthony, shocker, he almost got thrown out because they thought he was throwing snowballs at one of the security guards. Because when the Meadowlands, when a game's going on and it's a close game and all the fans are getting rowdy, and it's snowing, they're throwing snowballs, just having fun. And a couple snowballs hit this guy in the side of the head, and he thought it was my cousin. And at the time we were 15 years old, and like my cousin was like, he was getting all nervous, and like he like was trying to get like this old man to like vouch for him that he wasn't throwing snowballs. So it was just funny. But yeah, I was there too. Were you at your section or what?
No, that was the old Meadowlands.
Yeah, that was old man. Did you have like your own section there?
Nah.
None at all.
That was before I got season tickets. I'm only a few years now, but.
What's the deal with season tickets now? I hear like
they keep calling me. Keith, he's a cool dude, but like I told him, I was like, Keith, send me the email. I'm gonna call you back. So he keeps calling. I guess they're either he really likes me and the show and everyone, or they're really trying to sell the tickets. But either way,
they're discounted now, though, aren't they?
Time.
I get emails every day.
$50, $75. They're upper level seats, but
why is that? I figured they'd be more expensive with Tebow coming to town, and a lot of other attractions.
Well, funny you bring that up because a lot of people are saying that they lowered the prices because of Tebow. Somehow everything is always related to Tebow. If you ask people in the media,
really. I don't know. Yeah. I thought they would have been higher.
Hashtag Tebow?
I hashtag Tebow all the time.
Yeah.
Did you get
any
any
followers?
followers?
I really don't get many followers. I don't know. I don't know if people like what I tweet or they just, don't want to follow me. That's all right.
Could be both.
Probably a little bit of both.
Probably a few other things as well.
Sure.
We only have an hour here. We can't get into
Absolutely.
that. Maybe we'll dedicate a whole hour show of why people don't follow #Frankie.
#Frankie. And he figured it'd be easy to follow me. It's #Frankie. It's right
true.
there. It's not
Maybe
like you
some
have to-
people are putting the hashtag, the real
The
symbol.
actual character.
That might be it.
I might be it.
Frank, you need an underscore
You guys
in
might
there.
have.
Frank, you got to throw an underscore in there.
No, I'm not doing that.
Write it out. #_Frank.
I never underscore anything.
All right, Chris, what's your favorite Curtis
Well,
moment?
I actually moved to the city in 2005, so I haven't lived in the area as long as everyone else has. So I think my memories are maybe a little bit broader. But I mean, just from where I was and just having him be the kind of guy that went out there every single week, and even when like Brian said, it seemed like the game was over, he still played. And when you think about how old he was when he won, in 2005, when he reached the rushing title, like at that point in his career, where now we're talking about running backs and are in a decline, and that he could still achieve that, I think that just is what I remember most about him.
Absolutely.
So he kept himself in great shape.
Yeah.
And he was just the definition of reliable. That's what he was.
Yeah.
And you remember even that year, it was in 04. He was 31 at the time. He had a couple, un-Curtis like years. His rushing averages went down. Then that year he broke the rushing record. That was going to be my moment. Was pretty much that day. January 2nd, 2005. You had Curtis playing at 1. And then he rushed for 153 yards against the St. Louis Rams. Then later that evening, you had Sean Alexander, who was right there neck and neck with him. Curtis was coming into the day with 1544, and Alexander had 1616. Alexander rushed for 80 yards, so Curtis beat him out by 1 yard, and Curtis ended up becoming the oldest player ever to gain
Win
the
the
rushing
rushing
title,
title.
win the rushing title, which is
Yeah.
amazing.
Exactly.
That just
It really is.
shows how good he was.
I remember the lantern flashlight game.
That's my favorite
and they were
moment.
saying when Keyshawn and Corbett had that feud when Keyshawn went to Tampa Bay, and Curtis Martin threw that option pass to Corbett in the back of the end zone to win the
Absolutely.
You stole my moment.
That's all right. We share the
You
moment.
shared it.
That's
We share all
what
the
big
moments.
brothers do.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Aw,
Did you
that's
get
He knows
your
how to
moment?
steal your food, though, Hottie.
Yeah, so I guess all the years of me taking your food, I guess you could take my question.
That's all right. That's the deal.
Yeah, that's my favorite moment. That was like September 25th in 2000. They beat the Buccaneers late in the game with Curtis threw the winning touchdown to Corbett. And that was the first time that the Jets played Tampa and Keyshawn played the Jets since he left, because him and Corbett really never got along. And he, in the book that he wrote and
Throw me the
everything,
damn
Keyshawn,
ball.
yeah, throw me the damn ball. He called he called Corbett the lantern. And then Curtis throws that, I think, 18-yard touchdown to Corbett to win the game. That I always remember that game. It was raining, really bad weather down in Tampa. I think it was 21-17. They beat the Bucs. He had 90 yards rushing, 30 receiving yards and a touchdown, 1 for 1, 18 yards and a passing touchdown. So that game always sticks out.
What's Berman say? The old sombrero. What is it?
Was that Tampa?
Was that it? Was that the old sombrero? Was that
Yeah.
I think
It was
so.
the old sombrero,
Yeah.
I think. Or no, I think it might have been the new stadium.
the? Yeah.
I think it was the new
might have been-
sombrero.
Yeah. Well,
Among
right
his
team.
many accomplishments, he also has that 158.3 passer rating.
That's true.
So
2 for 2.
kind of
Two touchdown
very
passes.
Tebow-esque. Yeah.
Very
Absolutely.
Tebow-esque,
Yeah.
definitely.
I don't know, man. I think Curtis throws
on
a better
opposite
ball.
day.
I mean, can you?
No
I mean,
offense.
it's gone so far that you can even bring up Tebow when you're talking about Curtis Martin.
I know,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
What does it come to?
We've already said his name twice.
It's
I think 4 times.
Tebow next year is gonna, he might be our #1 running back.
I might
with,
have to heat that
Sean
next
Green.
week.
Sean Green coming into camp looking like a real meatball fatty,
I don't think you
Did
can
you
heat
see-
that Tebow. It's almost impossible.
Did you see how
to do
big
it.
Sean
I
Green
can heat
looked?
that whoever I want.
Did you see how big Green looked
can.
in those Nike jerseys?
He did. He
He looked really
Yeah.
big.
It could
you
have just
know?
been the cut,
It's
Frankie.
like-
Well, McKnight put on
I don't know.
weight.
He put on some weight.
We're gonna have to ask Curtis definitely about
Yeah.
the running back
I
situation,
definitely
whether he
wanna
thinks
know
Tebow
about
this and that. So we're definitely gonna have to ask him. Again, you guys are listening to Flight 5. I like saying live after because it rhymes. So Flight 5 live here on Zen Live, Zen Dollar Network. Again, the number to call in, we'll open up the phone lines around 7:30 after the Curtis Martin call. That's 914-595-4871. Tweet us at 5N Live. We'll read some funny tweets. Hit us up in the chat room too as well if you guys are watching on Zadalza. Right to the right side of my face right now. I'm pointing my left. It's reflected through the camera, but anyway, it's to the right over here. We got some people messaging over there. We'll read some funny ones too as well. Christine, I think someone wants you to put the helmet on already.
Oh, okay.
Oh man.
I think you want to put it on, or is it too early in the show?
It might be too early. After we talk to Curtis, I will put helmet on.
That's a good call.
How's that sound?
Or maybe we'll even tweet a picture or something.
I love it.
Maybe we'll put a helmet on Frank too.
Do you guys like my jersey?
I do.
You guys like my
Love
jersey?
it.
It's from the Bill Spano closet. Circa.
That was a deep one in the
There's a lot
closet.
more than just jerseys in that closet,
Absolutely.
too.
Oh, boom.
Gotta watch out for that thing.
Bill, what's in your closet right now? If you had to name
Probably
everything,
some jeans and some t-shirts.
That's it.
That's it.
White
There's
socks.
something else in there.
Some
Some white socks.
White socks.
They stay in the car. I don't wear those socks.
Yeah, no.
You guys are
You definitely
unreal.
don't wear them, that's for sure.
All right, let's have another. I want another Curtis. Not really a question, but more of a discussion. If you were to pick one former Jet, and maybe Curtis will be an answer from one of you guys, one former Jet to be on this team right now, who would you pick? I just want to get a little discussion around the room. So it could be guys like Klecko, it could be guys like Namath, it could be guys like Curtis, it could be anyone. What do you got, Brian, first?
It would be Joe Klecko.
Yeah.
It would be. He's an absolute dominant beast on the line. He would, provide that push that we need, and he would be that person you have to game plan for every week.
Even though with our defensive line being kind of
Klecko was a
deep right
guy.
now?
He played. He made the Pro Bowl at 3 different positions. You could put
Yeah.
him anywhere, and he.
Oh, yeah, I'm not doubting.
I mean, so that's the kind of force. I mean,
I'm talking about the needs of the team right now too. You have to take that also into consideration. But absolutely, Klecko is one of the best Jets of all time. Frank, what about you?
Going with my man Keyshawn Johnson, man.
That's not a bad call.
We need a nice number one guy. I mean, I know Holmes is on the cusp of being considered a number one guy, but I think Keyshawn in his prime when he was, burning defenses and stretching the field, he could do anything. And I think, we're missing that right now. We need some offensive spark. So
He loved the middle of the field, too.
Oh, he did. He wasn't
He
afraid
did
to do anything,
everything.
Keyshawn. He's underrated in terms of, what people think about him and
And
his
in history
legacy.
among.
he's
Yeah, I
definitely-
agree.
Because, in Tampa Bay, he had his problems. He sat out.
just
pretty
give
much
him the
whole
damn
year.
bull, Frank.
That's it, man. Hey, you need guys like that sometimes.
I hear you.
Brian stole mine. I would say Klecko,
You were
too.
gonna say Klecko?
Yeah, I would. Sorry.
That's all right. What about you, Bill?
Javier.
I got to go with the greenhead. Vinny
Really?
Testaverde.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
'cause
I love that.
he's
I
just
love it.
like
Over Joe Namath, huh?
if we granted,
Over a healthy Joe?
That's like the favorite pick though. I kind of like the dark horse
yeah,
pick.
I
I
don't wanna
gotcha.
go too
And he's
mainstream,
Italian,
yeah, for sure.
dude. Come on.
Absolutely.
He's Italian.
All right.
But no,
That's a
I
good
just
point,
think that if we had that threat of the pass
Yeah.
in the 2 years, we would at least been in a Super Bowl in the past, 09, 2010, we would have been in there.
I don't
I
want.
think.
Yeah, I agree.
You really think so?
Definitely.
I do.
I
So you
definitely
think-
agree.
Yeah, that's an interesting
Do you think
point.
Favre counts?
I
have to
thought
mention
about saying
Favre
that,
somehow.
actually.
That's not going to be my pick. I was going to go with Curtis, but for the sake of probably dropped his name at least 150 times already, I'm going to go with Corbett because he was so reliable. And Sanchez desperately needs that right now. That's what Dustin Keller isn't, and that's what he should be. So we
a good
kind of
point.
need that real reliable middle of the field,
Yeah, absolutely.
big third down receiver. I know Curley is solid. You liked what he saw in his rookie year, but a guy like Curtis Martin, great hands, never dropped a pass. He would block. He really gave it all on the field. So a guy like Corbett, you can't really replace the reliability from Corbett. So that'd definitely be my pick.
And that brings up an interesting point now because, you see that Percy is unhappy in Minnesota.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah,
Good segue.
and Percy's awesome. Like, Percy's really good. Migraines aside, he can deliver, better than any slot receiver, I think, in the league. Seriously, Percy is so fast.
He is.
He's strong. Did you see last year when he had a couple handoffs? He was,
Yeah,
he
they
was
had him
very good.
basically
Yeah.
as like a second running back.
He really is,
Yeah.
and he kind of reminds me a little bit of Victor Cruz almost. The way he plays is very, he'll go over the middle. He'll stretch the field. He's faster than Cruz too. So I think the Jets, if they can make a move for Harvin, and he did play with Tebow, and he,
Yeah.
he
What do you
knows
think about
Tebow's
that?
games.
I know
Florida.
Christine is a
Whole
Percy
Florida.
Harvin
He's a
expert.
gadget guy too.
I want
Harvin,
to relay this question to Christine because she's the Percy Harvin expert. So really,
the Percy Harvin groupie.
if I need Percy Harvin news, I go to Christine.
Thank you, Nick. Thank you. Well, what I was going to say is, I don't want to be like a bubble burster, but I don't even really think this conversation is even worth having because not only have has the GM or Spielman come out and said, we're not trading him. But I mean, everyone who's close to the situation says they're not trading him. And I think that they're sort of in this situation, the Vikings, that is, that I think they, while you can't punt a season for the fan base, I think they know that they're not really like competitive with the Lions and the Packers. And so I think for them, like, they're in a position where they can kind of say, you know, we don't need you to win, so we're going to sit here and say, we're not trading you, and you know, you kind of have to deal with the situation that you're in. And they do need him. They can't afford to lose him. So I think it's sort of, they can sit there and say that to him. So, you know, with all that being said, like, I think he's a great player, but I think there's also a lot of problems with him that I think people are sort of not mentioning. I mean, you already have a little bit of a wide receiver who's a little bit of a problem. And I don't think that the combination of the two of them would be all that great. So.
Yeah, I definitely see where you're coming from, but there is also the, you know, there's a few, you know, makes it interesting how Rex loves Percy Harvin.
Yeah, absolutely.
They were going to try to trade back into the first round a few years ago to get him. He played with Tebow, like Frank said, another Tebow reference. And he's really good on special teams, which we've been looking for a kick returner / punt returner. So it is interesting. But like you said, I don't see the Vikings trading him.
Yeah, I mean, and that's the thing about it. It's like, I don't really think it's even going to come to that.
I agree.
Having conversation.
I don't know. You guys think Percy's getting dealt? I know it's not. We always can tie it back to the Jets.
I don't think he has much leverage.
No.
He really doesn't. Like Christine was saying, they don't have to trade him. They don't have to trade him, and they're not in a position that, you know, if they can let him sit the season out, and they're really not going to miss. They're not going to miss much.
But they really have no other outside of AP. They have nobody else.
Because Jerome Simpson's missing the first 2 games, so. They're not in a good situation.
They have the 2 young Notre Dame tight ends. Well, Carlson's not young anymore, but they drafted Rudolph last season. I love.
Me too.
I love both
too.
of their tight ends. But outside of them, I mean, their starting receivers, I can't even name them off the top of my head. I know they signed who would be their number 1? I can't even outside of Harvin.
I actually put him on my fantasy team one time.
They signed him from the Bears? I'm trying to think.
I can't think of his name right now.
It's Camarillo's on the Vikings, isn't he?
No, he went to the Dolphins.
These guys are just,
I don't know.
just pure
Whoever it is, it's not good. So, I mean, that's the leverage that Harvin has. You know, outside.
The thing is, though, you have to understand this. If he's really on a team that, you know, is as bad as we all think they are, I mean, they're not that good. Maybe it'll give, you know, the GM some leverage in terms of trying to acquire, you know, X amount of picks for a Harvin. You never know. I mean, he skipped practice the other day. They said he came back yesterday and he was laughing, like joking around, pulling an OC, you know. I wouldn't have been shocked if he started like riding the bicycle too on the side.
He was like playing dumb about the whole thing. He was acting like he hadn't said what he'd said. And then did you see his tweet? Like, it's just
he's
that
calling
kind of
out
stuff.
for the fans and everything. Like the real fans,
like
know.
the real Vikings fans. I don't know. I have to look it up. But it was something like the real fans know what's up, or I don't know.
And he said it wasn't even about the contract too.
Yeah.
Which he's not making much money for the next 2 years anyway. I think it's only like maybe $3 or $4 million for the next 2 years. I think some kind of incentives kick in, but it has to. I mean, what other reason are you holding out for? Do you think? Or he's not officially holding out. What are you demanding a trade for? If it's not the money, then what is it?
I suspect that, based on what I've heard, I mean, I think everyone knows, like, he got into a fight with Brad Childress, like, right before he left, and he's really good friends with Randy Moss, and there was a report from Mike Freeman that said that he and Moss had a conversation before Moss left, that Moss said to Harvin, you have to get Childress fired.
Really?
And stuff like that. Like, I think there's a lot of... And I think there must be somebody that he doesn't get along with, or there's got to be some kind of conflict of some kind. Outside of, I mean, people want to say it's about the quarterback, but I don't think that's...
Yeah. We just got help from the chat box over here. Anthony hooked us up. It's Michael Jenkins, Devin Arocha-Madu, who I was thinking of, and Jerome Simpson, who's suspended. So it's really not a household group of names, but
not at all.
Let's take our first break here on Flight 5, and hopefully by the time we get back, we'll have Curtis with us. And after that, we'll take your calls. That's, again, the number to call in is 914-595-4871. This is Flight 5.
Welcome back. I know it was a fast commercial break, but that's how we like them around here. We like them quick and simple. So this show is sponsored by Lauricia Water. Next time you're in the New York City or metropolitan area, go to your local convenience store, specifically Italy, which exclusively sells Lauricia, and purchase the most pure water on the market. Lauricia Water not only offers its drinkers one of the best tasting waters on the market, but one with less mineral content than 99% of other waters. So for athletes and health-conscious individuals like Brian and Bemba, stay fresh with Lauricia and cleanse out that system. Or for food lovers like the Hattie Nick, next time you set the table or have a gathering, make sure it is with Lauricia, the water that accompanies the palate just right. Lauricia is also found in many restaurants around the New York City and Westchester area. Log on to www.lauricia.it for more info or call 718-353-9700 for the chance to purchase Lauricia. And when you do call that number, ask for Antonio. I know him personally. He's a great man. He'll send you a couple bottles for free. One of a kind. One of a kind. And he's a big Jet fan too.
Nice.
The only Jet Ferrari fan I've ever met in my life. Schumacher, Formula One, all that, you know. No one really knows anything about Formula One.
Nothing.
It's very surprising.
My dad is a huge Formula One
Really?
fan.
You're either crazy into it.
He's obsessed with it.
Is he born in the States?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But he's traveled a lot to Europe for his business, so I think that's partly why.
Yeah. Brian, you have any experience with Formula One?
Absolutely not. Nothing at all.
Do you know anything about it?
Nope.
Nothing at all?
No, sir.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it's we used to go to Montreal real fast. We used to go and going to Montreal for the Formula One races. Great time, man. Great in a naughty way
phenomenal.
too, you know, Bill. I'm just kidding. No, it's a fun time. We have a great time. Really diehard fans. They come from all over the world. They go to Montreal and they enjoy the Formula One scenery, which is great. It really is.
Yeah.
All right, well, listen, guys, I wanted to go around the room real quick and just ask your guys' opinions on something that's been bugging me. I have so much faith in this Jets defense coming up this season. I think they're going to rank top 5 yet again for the fourth year in a row. I don't know how you guys feel about the offense, but to me, I'm not that confident that our offense is going to be at the caliber to compete with the New England's and even at times Pittsburgh's offense and Baltimore's, they have some spark to them. We don't have that spark.
For sure.
We really don't. I don't know how you guys feel about that.
I don't even think it's not even a standpoint of scoring points for us. Mm-hmm. We just the Jets have to have an offense that is able to protect the ball and make first downs. We have to eat up clock. That's
Absolutely.
what we have to do. If we can do that, so how do you do that? Last year we don't have a tight end who can block. So we need that. We need to be top tier rushing team. We have to,
yep.
or else we're not going to win.
Right.
That's what happens. We're not going to win. Mark Sanchez is not going to win games for the Jets throwing 350 yards a game. It's not going to.
Do you have a trust in that formula though? Do you have a trust in that run the ball 30+ times and you play with your defense?
Because Rex is so devoted to it. I do.
I do too, but this is my issue real fast before we get to Christine.
And he believes in it, and he doesn't. You know what I mean?
In 2002, Rex was with Baltimore, right, when they won a Super Bowl. That's that's the formula he saw. He was right there. He was involved, one-on-one with that formula to win. At this point, though, since 2002, we've seen the amount of elite quarterbacks go up. Amount of great quarterbacks go up. A 10th ranked quarterback could be considered Tony Romo. In 2002, he might have been considered top 5 or maybe top 3. So does that formula work when you have to go through at least 2, maybe 3 elite guys just to win a Super Bowl when they're going to throw up at least 21, maybe closer to 30 points at times?
I think there will come a time where the Jets are going to be doing something that everybody's got the elite quarterback, right? So if the Jets, this is why I think they had such success in 2009 and 2010 with the runs, is because everybody was playing that style. Everybody in the playoffs had the the elite quarterback, and then here comes the Jets playing. We're going to run the ball down your throats, and we're going to play defense. And I think a lot of those teams weren't ready for it. Yeah. Until ultimately we didn't have that elite quarterback to get us over the top, so to say. Mm-hmm. But I think it absolutely can win.
All right. I think this is Curtis now on the line with us here.
Yeah.
I hope so because we had a little mix up on the phone lines. Curtis, is this with you? Is this you?
Yes, it is.
Oh, Curtis Martin. Wow.
How are you? I apologize. I had in my mind all day 7:30, and they've been telling me 7:15, and I just really apologize.
No, that's
not a problem.
Not a problem at all, Curtis. We're honored to have you on Flight 5.
I hate being late.
Better late than never, my man.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Curtis, this is Nick from Flight 5. Just wanted to congratulate you on the Hall of Fame nomination and everything. It's as Jet fans, we're always been behind you and really excited to see you going in. The whole crew here, most of us are trying to make it out to Canton. We're going to be there, but we appreciate you coming on the show.
Trying to make it, man. Y'all got to get out there, man.
Oh yeah, the majority of us will be out there.
I'm just
Absolutely.
joking. I appreciate it, and I definitely appreciate the support, and I'm looking forward to it. It's a special moment, and it means a lot to me, and I want to share that moment with as many people and as many fans and as much support as I could possibly have there.
Absolutely. I mean, the numbers speak for themselves. The fourth leading rusher of all time, led the NFL in rushing yards, the oldest running back to do it in 2004, 1,697 yards, 5 Pro Bowls, 5 All-Pros. I mean, the list goes on and on. One of the best Jets, the Ring of Honor, one of the best Jets of all time. Curtis, we want to put you through. We do a little segment here. We call it the Cover 5. We put Manish made on there last week, our first initial show, and he did a pretty good job. So you got to come through and show him who the real Hall of Famer is here. But
I'll try my best.
Manish is getting close, though.
He was good last week. He definitely was good. I have a feeling Curtis is going to be a little bit better. But all right, Curtis, I'll start the Cover 5 off, and then we'll throw you around the room with Brian, Frank, Christine, and Bill. The first thing I want to ask you, Curtis, I remember I was speaking to one of my good friends who's an NFL agent. He was telling me a story, and you know him pretty well. He was telling me a story how you won an award with the Jets, and I'm not sure what it was. Maybe it was team MVP or something. And this was when Coach Parcells was the coach at the time, and you gave him the trophy along with a note. And he shed a tear, which if obviously you know him, and if Jet fans know how stern he was and the serious guy that Parcells was, shedding a tear for him is a big deal. And he says that he kept that note.
Finding water in the desert.
Could you tell us a little bit about that? How that went down, and what was said during that?
Well, you know something? Parcells was the one who drafted me. I remember when he called me on draft day and said, "Son, would you like to be a New England Patriot?" And I said, "Yes, sir, I would." And I mean, he made it very, very hard on me. And now that we passed those times and we're both retired, he talked to me about what he saw in me back then, which made him push me and be so hard on me. And he knew kind of the background that I came from, so he pushed me so far where he knew that I was either going to break or I was going to rise to the occasion. And I'm just grateful that he saw that in me and that he even took the time out to be hard on me. And as he tells us, me and Lawrence Taylor were the guys that he was the hardest on during his coaching career. And so, it doesn't seem like something you thank someone for being so hard, but I'm super grateful for Parcells being as hard and demanding as much as he did from me. So, to the point of the trophy was that by the time I got to New York, and I know that on my own or without his guidance, that there was no way that I would even made it to New York or probably been in the NFL at that time. So for me to get the MVP of the year, I just felt that was something that was, it was almost to me like it was something that I wanted to dedicate to Bill Parcells because I knew the difference that he made in my life, not just in my career, but in my life.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a great story. I mean, just if you watch any of the documentaries and read articles written, we can understand how each one of you meant to each other. So, I mean, being in the company with Lawrence Taylor as well, obviously he held you in high regard. So that's really good stuff.
Yeah, what I did, I also wrote him a letter, and some of the things that I'm explaining to you, those were some of the things that I communicated to him in the letter. And I snuck into his office, and I left the trophy as well as the letter on his desk. And he said that he saw it when he got back to his office, and he didn't tell me until years later, but, then he just told me how it made him shed a tear.
Hey, Curtis, this is Brian. Congratulations on an amazing career and, more importantly, being a real true role model to everybody out there. I mean, I really looked up to you. Oh, absolutely. I mean, the platform you're at now and all the philanthropic work you do is amazing. So here's my question. Bill Parcells said that you're one of the most inspirational players he has ever seen. He always judges players by their ability to inspire others. He said, I've seen Curtis Martin inspire numerous players and coaches, and I was fortunate to be among those he inspired. What former teammate, if any, was a source of inspiration for you, Curtis?
Something, I always found inspiration in the very small things. It wasn't necessarily the player who was the best or who had the most talent on the team. It was just individuals who exhibited certain qualities that I considered more so like virtues of life. Because those are the things, I think by the time you make it to the NFL, the talent and the ability is there. Now, how long you play, that's, there's a lot of different variables that go into that. But, certain intangible qualities like good character, integrity, honesty and hard work ethic and just being someone who's a positive person to everyone else, that's things that motivate me. And, someone who I would have to say that Bill Parcells, even more so than any player, he was that person for me. He was like the beacon of light that I was constantly looking at, that I was looking up to. Matter of fact, Parcells was the first man in my life that I looked at more so like a father figure, and that I looked at in a sense that, I looked up to him, or I wanted to listen to him. I didn't grow up in a household with a father. I never really had a positive role model in my life as far as a man goes. And so Parcells was the first guy that I looked up to.
Hey, Curtis, how are you? Great talking to you. Great.
Yeah, thank you.
And I just want to give you a shout out that you were the originator of the flashiest post game attire ever. You were the best dressed athlete at the time. Absolutely. Not even close. Okay.
Well, thank you for that. I never really considered myself a flashy guy, but I do like my suits. I have to admit that.
I think it was just well dressed. I don't know if it's
I think
very classy,
sharp is better.
Yeah, it's all the same to me.
Well, thank you.
All right, well, Curtis, I have a question right now about the current state of the Jets running back and backfield situation. As you know, last year the Jets were 22nd in the league in rushing. They were 30th in the league in yards per rush. That was backfield featuring Sean Green and McKnight and a couple others. How do you see the running game being played out this year? What do you think they need to do? And do the Jets possibly need to go seek out another option? I don't know what you think about that.
No, I think they just have to do better. I think at the end of the day, there were times where I played in the backfield and we didn't have a really good year rushing. And then we come back the next year and we may have been close to leading the league in rushing. I just think things happen like that. You have injuries, you have people who are banged up, and it can affect their performance. I just think at the end of the day, I think their offensive line is pretty good. I think it has the potential to be one of the best in the league. And at the end of the day, I believe they'll get it together, but it just takes the entire team. Last year, I don't think that the entire team played the way they did the year before, and I don't know what the reason for that was, but, I hope and I believe that they'll get it back on track this year.
Okay, do you see a guy like Tebow helping out that running game, or do you see
possibly, but who knows how much Tebow's going to play? As of now, Mark is the starting quarterback, and Tebow may get in there or he may not. I think that the running game is really important because without that, defenses are just going to pin their ears back and they're going to pressure mark. They're going to blitz mark every down. And so I hope that the running game does take off this year, because I think it'll balance it out, and they'll do well as they did the 2 previous years from last year.
Okay.
Hi, Curtis. This is Christine. Thanks for joining us.
How are you, Christine?
Good, thank you. We obviously know a lot about Curtis Martin on the football field, but I wanted to ask you a little bit about, Curtis Martin, the man, and the philanthropic work that you do, helping single mothers, your work to fight homelessness, and of course, your the foundation you work with, or the organization you work with, Surgicorps. If you could tell us a little bit about that and what you guys are doing.
Well, I established my own foundation called the Joe Foundation. And what I did was, from the time I was a rookie, I took 12 to 15% of every check that I've ever received in the NFL, and I put it towards charity. And so with that, and I've been the sole funder of my my foundation, and I wanted to be the sole funder of it so that I could do whatever my heart felt moved to do. So there's a lot of different things that I do. Now I put 20 to 25% of every check that I receive into charity. And for me, that's what gave football definition to me. I just wasn't in love with the game, or I didn't like football that much that it caused me to commit to it the way I did. What I committed to in my mind was the ability to reach people through football and use football as a vehicle. And I think if you would have taken that away from me, or the ability to impact people's lives in a positive way away from me, I know that I wouldn't have had the career that I had. And I don't even think I'm anywhere close. And I don't even think I played 11 years. I think I probably played more like 3 or 4.
That's
something. It's a quick story. I was going into, I believe, my 7th year, and usually that's kind of when a running back is starting his downhill descent. And I had just come off a really good year, and they were going to renew my contract. Before they renewed my contract, they came to me and they said, "Well, this is the biggest contract that Woody has ever signed since he's been an owner." And they said to me, "Curtis, we just want to know that you still love the game." And I told them, I said, "Well, if you're going to sign me based on my love for the game, I would recommend you not sign me."
Wow.
I said, but sign me based on the fact that I use football, and the commitment that I have to football goes so far beyond my love for the game. It's based on my love for people and my love to serve people. I said, so the fact that football gives me and is that vehicle and that stage in which I'm able to reach people, that's what makes me play with torn ligaments and chipped bones and, shoulders that are out of my socket. Because in my mind, every yard that I gain, every touchdown that I get, it's just opening up another door for me to reach people. And I remember the guy said to me, he said, "You know what, Curtis? That's exactly the reason why we want to sign you."
Wow.
It's inspiring, Curtis.
Yeah, absolutely. Great stuff. That's something that I've never, I haven't read that in an article, never heard that on the radio. So just hearing that firsthand from you is just like incredible. So I mean, that's great.
It
stuff.
makes you want to self-evaluate.
Absolutely, that's what I was just thinking about.
You're such a good person. You're so giving. I mean, your example is amazing.
Yeah.
If I could just take 5% of you and project that out, I think I'm doing good. I mean, it's amazing. I'm sorry, Bill.
Something for me, it's I don't know, the way I see myself, I definitely see myself as someone who always have the right intent, and I try to accompany that with the right actions. But I think when you come from where I came from, and when you see the things that I've seen, and for me, I've learned to cherish and value life so much. And I've almost lost my life several times just growing up in the environment that I have. And a lot of people look at things and look at life, and I think we sweat the small stuff so much. But when your life is really on the line, and you get your second chance, and for me, I feel like I've gotten second, third, fourth, fifth, and I don't know how many times. It just it gives you that perspective. For me, I just say, if I only had a week to live or a year to live, what would I do? for me, I don't know anything that I would do different at this point because I feel as though I've learned and I kind of trained myself to live like that on a daily basis.
Amazing.
Yeah. Curtis, it's been an honor, man. Thanks for coming on.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
You're always a man of few words who chose to lead by example. August 4th in Canyon, you'll be the center of attention. I got to ask you, how's the speech coming?
You know something? it's really funny. I've been contemplating what the approach would be on my speech, like what angle I wanted to come at it from. And I think literally just today, I was on the phone with my mother having a conversation, and just talking to her, something just clicked, and I said, okay, this will be my approach. And so I finally just nailed down the approach that I wanted to take, and so I'm gonna start working on it probably this weekend.
All right.
So the speech is it in progress, or you haven't started, or is it almost finished, or where are you at with the speech?
Oh no, I'm literally just getting started.
Oh wow.
I've been thinking about it for a long time, but you know how when it's almost like you have writer's block.
Mm-hmm.
But every
Yeah.
time
Nick gets it all the time.
Every time I sat down to try to write something or type something up, I just end up balling up the paper and throwing it away and just saying, all right, I'll wait. And today, I really think I finally nailed down the approach that I want.
Excellent.
Nice. We're looking forward to that.
Mom helped, you know.
Yeah,
She
did
always
Mom
does.
help out?
Yeah, you know what? It was just the conversation that we were having, and we were just talking about life and talking about things and some of our past history. And as we were talking, I was like, you know what, Mom? I think that I just figured out the way I want to approach my speech for the Hall of Fame. And she was like, well, that's good. She said, I've been worried about it probably more than you. Yeah, because the way my mother is, and she knows that it, like, now it doesn't bother me, but when I was playing before every game, she would say, make sure you don't fumble that ball. And I would just say, Mom, stop telling me. Every time you tell me that, it just makes me more worried about it. And then I end up fumbling. And so she's replaced that with, make sure you got your speech done. Make sure you got your speech ready. So she tells me that probably at least twice a week.
Will she be making the trip?
Of course, man.
Oh, yeah, she'll be there. She'll definitely be there.
We're really looking forward to. We're looking forward to the speech as well. Hopefully all 5 of us can get up there. We really wanted to do a little segment/show from up there. We're trying. It's still in the works, but we'll see. But Curtis, before we let you go, I want to give you a fan question because we picked the best fan question to give out and wanted to really let them have a chance to speak to you as well. So this comes from @MannyT6 on Twitter. And his question is, what's your most memorable Jets moment? So throughout your career, what's the one moment that sticks out in your mind, whether it's good or bad or whatever?
Well, it's hard to choose one. I think the one moment that just pops into my mind when I think of that question is how close we were going to the Super Bowl my first year here in '98. And how we were up on Denver, and we just totally, I want to say gave the game away because Denver played very well, but we were up 10-3 in the middle of the third quarter, and we ended up finding a way to lose. So and that's one of the situations that that's always stuck with me. And before I retired, I wanted to get a second chance at that, but it never came. So that's definitely one of the moments. And another moment that always sticks out to me is walking into, actually, when I was playing for New England, before I signed with the Jets, I had just flew to Maui for the NFL for some type of conference they were having there. I got off the plane, and a friend of mine, we decided to just go to the mall. And we went to the mall we went to the mall straight from the airport. I got a phone call, and I had to get right back on the plane to go back and sign with New York. And I'll never forget the moment in Parcells' office, and him just telling me, he said, son, remember in your rookie year when you wanted to, after your rookie year when you wanted to renegotiate your contract, and I told you that, just keep doing what you're doing, and I promise I'll take care of you one day. And he said, well, this is that day. I mean, we didn't even have to negotiate, and became a New York Jet.
That's incredible. Well, Curtis, we're still waiting for that moment, too, for the Super Bowl. We've been close a few times, but hopefully Rex will bring it. And I really like the team this year. Hopefully, we can get over that hump and get there. But, on behalf of the rest of the crew, we are truly honored that you joined us tonight. And best of luck. We'll hopefully all be there watching you on August 4th to celebrate your day. But just congratulations on such a great career and what you're doing off the field as well.
Well, thank you. And I'll tell you, I'm not even, and people laugh at me because I'm really not a football fan. I don't really watch too much. I think I've started watching more since I've been retired. And but I'm still, I consider myself a Jets fan. So I'm hoping,
awesome.
too, that they make it to the Super Bowl sometime soon. Even if they make it, the fact that I'm not in it, it doesn't even matter. I just want them to make it.
Absolutely. Yeah. Well, we're putting you in the Hall of Fame of the Cover 5 because you killed it. We're all here thinking, and like Brian said, we're all thinking about like, wow, this guy is awesome. So you're in the Hall of Fame of the Cover 5. So everybody else who comes up on the show the rest of the way through has a real high standard.
You set the bar.
We appreciate it.
He
Curtis.
beat Manish. Yep. Great
well,
job,
you guys,
Curtis.
Hey, I appreciate you guys having me. And before I go, I just want to say thank you to you guys and thank you to all the media because I'm always aware that a lot of people look at the media in a different way, and sometimes a negative way. But the way my fans perceive me and the way those who support me perceive me, at the end of the day, comes down to a lot of what the media has done and what you guys have written or had me on a radio show or a TV show. And so I'm really appreciative to the media. I don't think the media is always bad. I think I'm a living witness that, that there is a lot of good in the media if you handle it the right way. And I also want to just say thank you to every fan that has supported me. And like I said in my retirement speech at the New York Jets Stadium, one of my greatest goals in football was that I've been that role model and that person that people want their kids to look up to. That meant more to me than Super Bowl, to be quite honest.
Absolutely. I mean, if I had a kid and he grew up to be an NFL player, I would say model yourself around Curtis Martin. Definitely not speaking. I'm not the only one in that.
Just as a man, I would tell him to grow up to be like Curtis. And Curtis, I hope I get to shake your hand in Canton, my man. Thank you very much for everything.
All right, I look forward to it. So you got to make it there.
Absolutely. Thanks, Curtis.
Take care.
All right,
Take care,
guys.
Curtis.
Bye.
I mean, is that in Brian's voice tremendous or what?
Yeah,
it's tremendous, bro. It's tremendous, when it's so tremendous.
It really is.
I'll tell you what. Sometimes I want to euthanize Frankie. Thank God I don't do it. But truthfully, not for nothing. How could you not admire a person like that?
How could you not admire?
What a good human being. I forget about the football stuff, which is great.
Absolutely, and I think that was his point.
That's the beautiful part. And if you've ever watched his story, I've watched a documentary on him. Growing up in Pittsburgh and how he's had guns put to his head and the trigger pulled and it didn't fire. I mean, this guy's got second chances on life. Saw his grandmother murdered right in front of him.
Yeah.
I mean,
you just can't imagine.
It's a miracle, and you know what? For him to give back like that it's beautiful.
Yeah,
really. And you know what? The thing I got from that, most thing I got most from that interview was appreciate the little things. Yeah. Don't worry about the big things all the time. Just appreciate walking down the street. Appreciate drinking the best water in the world, Aricia.
There you go.
He really gets it. He really gets it. I mean,
I think we're gonna have to be sponsored by like Kleenex or something over here.
I tell you, I was close there.
I was close.
I was close.
My shoulders always here for
him.
I mean, if this is how it is on Flight 5 Live, imagine the Hall of Fame speech. Just
right?
Yeah.
Let's
take a quick call.
Let's take a call. Absolutely. You're on Flight 5 Radio after Curtis Martin, so that's an honor in itself.
What's going on,
man?
Hello, Adi.
Hey, Nick, it's Xavier.
What's up, my man? Turn the thing off in the background. We're getting some noise.
I just turned it down.
All right, cool. What's going on, man? How are you?
Hey.
What's going on? Hey, I think you guys might have peaked too early. I don't think it gets better than that.
Right?
Right?
That was going to be my next comment.
It is kind of hard. We're going to work hard to try and match it, but I don't know if you can ever
Me and Brian mud wrestle and might peak that. That's the only way.
All right, Frankie.
That was an awesome show, guys, man. That was awesome. Like, I mean, like I mean, like as many interviews I've heard Curtis tell, you know, you still get some new stuff out of him. I mean, you know, it's really good. I mean, I'm glad you guys were able to get him on. Like I said, I don't know how you guys topped this.
Yeah, I mean, it really was. I was at like a loss of words, which isn't good because we're hosting a radio show. But we appreciate the call, man. We got a few calls coming in, but you know, thanks for the call. Definitely call back next week and keep listening.
All right, you are on Flight 5 Radio. What is going on?
What's going on, guys?
How are you?
Hey.
What's going on, Lottie?
Pretty good. I actually tweet you guys all the time at the Jada Kid. I just listened to Curtis, and I got to tell you, man, that guy's just very inspirational, man. And it kind of brings a great point out because a lot of people consider him the greatest Jet of all time on offense, and Revis might go down as the greatest Jet of all time on D. And the way those two are just different on how approaching the game is just mind-boggling.
That is a good point. I mean, I know Revis really does care about the game and really cares about being the best player he can possibly be.
But the holdout, they're going to dent his legacy. I hate to say it. If he does it again,
right.
I mean...
We'll see how far into the holdout actually goes.
Yeah, I feel like I don't want to write that yet until it happens.
Let me interject for a second, but they're also they're also coming from different backgrounds. You know, like I said, Curtis's background was, I mean, Revis's background is miles apart from where Curtis came from. So the perspective is two totally different. You know, it's like apples and oranges.
Yeah, it's a valid point.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. I mean, Curtis Martin's lucky to be alive, to be honest with you. Some of the stories.
Yeah.
You know,
but,
so I heard
there was a report today that Revis actually said a reporter asked him about if he's going to hold out, and he said you have to X him out Tannenbaum. I mean, that's almost showing up and putting no pressure on him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right, man. We appreciate the call. We're sorry to cut you off, but we're no
problem, bro.
Went a little over. Thanks for the call and thanks for listening, man. Let's take another call here. Maybe we'll take two more before we get into the last segment because it is already 7:55. It goes so fast. But you're on Flight 5. What's going on?
What's going on, Lottie?
Hey, I'm on Flight 5.
Hey,
who's this?
Hey, this is Big Debbie from Staten Island.
That's my mother. It's my mother.
We got Staten Island in the house.
This is Mimi and Papa from Staten
That's my
Island.
mother,
How you
Nick.
doing, guys?
That's my mother.
Miss Mbemba, how are you? I don't know if we're more honored to
All
have Miss
right.
Mbemba or Curtis.
What'd you think of the show,
Remember
Ma?
what Curtis Martin said? He's taking the speech from his mother.
That's right. Mama knows best, Miss Mbemba.
Ma, you already know you're my rock, Ma. You're my inspiration. So.
Jeez, this show is gonna make me like.
And I'm Brian's boo.
Hey, Brian.
Yeah.
Listen.
Yeah.
I don't want to see no fingerprints on that helmet.
That's spoken like my father. Just remember who got you that autograph, Pop.
I'll polish them if that's the case.
Yeah.
I talked about that last
I'll
week.
see you guys tomorrow.
All right, all the best.
Thanks you,
Great show.
guys.
Ciao,
We got
ciao.
one more.
Bachi,
Do we have one
bachi.
more on the line?
No.
That's it? Okay. I
that's
mean,
tremendous.
the calls are great. We appreciate all the calls, and it sucks that we have to cut the calls off so fast, but it is 7:58 when we have to run through the He Dead.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. I want Frank. Frank wants to. Yeah, Christine's going to put the helmet on. Frank's going to run through a quick sponsor note from Top Shelf Tailgate, who's sponsoring the He Dead segment tonight. Frank, let everybody know about Charlie and the tailgate.
What's up, fellers and fellas? This is Charlie right here. He's a great guy. He runs a company called Top Chef Tailgates, and it's a great tailgate. What they do is they have a sort of corporate feel to it, but it's very fun. It's great. They have great food there. They have good-looking girls. They have TV, so if you want to watch NFL Network games as you're watching, as you're waiting for the 4 o'clock game, you can watch the 1 o'clock games, and they have Madden set up so I can start, winning some money for once on Madden. I could do it at his tailgate.
And you know what, Frankie? The best part about it is the private bathroom.
Oh, yeah.
No, I'm not even joking. Anybody who's tailgated knows how valuable a private bathroom is. Full bar, gourmet food. It's top shelf all the way from soup to nuts. It's worth every penny.
Yeah,
seriously.
And the taps on the truck.
Absolutely.
Taps on the truck, and we're going to give away every show. Probably, and I would say, in a couple weeks or so, every show after that, we will have available 4 free tailgating tickets. So we'll be able to offer you that tailgate for that's free of charge, and you can go to the tailgate and just enjoy yourself. What's more fun than a tailgate anyway?
Nothing.
I agree.
Seriously, tailgating is one of the funnest activities you can do as a Hattie American. So
And Charlie's
honestly.
from Brooklyn, so you know he's a good guy.
Yeah, Brooklyn.
And Brian knows Charlie personally. So,
Absolutely.
yeah.
Small
All
world.
And you can call him, by the way, just real quick. You can go on his website. It's topcheftailgate.com.
Top shelf.
Top Shelf, not Top Chef. Top Shelf Tailgate.com.
Someone's
or you
hungry.
can call 212-582-5333. Again, that's 212-582-53. Eric Smith's number 33.
Nice.
And that won't be used for another year, so that's the last year you've been able to use that.
All right, we're going to get to our annual, well, not really annual.
Weekly.
Our weekly segment here. He Dead. It's, I don't know. I'll explain it this week because Frank kind of got into some trouble last week. Basically, it's He Dead, not dead. So it's He Dead. It's going to be basically, we're going to put up guys on the board who's kind of annoyed us over the past
or
day,
girls,
month,
if that,
year.
So
Yeah, girls.
Oh, absolutely. That's true.
Absolutely.
Who knows?
And we really, we'll try not to talk about him. If it slips up, Brian Mule kicks him and everything. But Bill, since you're standing up there and you look so damn good with the board behind you, why don't you introduce yours in the first one of the week?
All right. My guy this week, he's a Giants season ticket holder. He has many fans amongst the Patriot community, including Robert Kraft, and he spent plenty of time in the booth.
This one might bother some people though, because I know he has a lot of fans.
Big following.
Who cares?
Yeah,
his music is awful.
We don't do it to make people happy. We do it for ourselves.
That's true.
There you go.
So who is it?
So Bill, who is it?
John Bon Jovi.
He did.
Bill, you can never mention John Bon Jovi again.
I like that one. John Bon Jovi.
Wearing the Patriots hat, no less. Phenomenal.
Robert Kraft,
Tremendous.
Tremendous. Stupendous.
Tremendous pick. Yeah,
Don't abuse the word.
Yeah, Christine, you want to do yours? Or you want Bill to do yours? Bill will put it up and you explain.
Yeah. So mine is a little bit too easy to pick this guy, but I felt like I had to. Plexico Burress.
Nice.
He did.
He really made Jets fans angry this week with what he said about Sanchez and all that. And, you gotta love a guy who has a habit of bashing the quarterbacks that he formerly played with.
Yeah,
so good luck to him playing in Carolina.
They don't even want him.
They don't even want him.
I know. I know.
You know why they don't want him? Because he did.
He did.
Boom. All right.
Good, Frankie.
I want Frank to go last. I want Brian to explain his now.
Mine is going to be 4 simple words, and it should say everything to Jets fans. You ready?
Yes.
Quarterbacks, coach, Matt Kavanaugh. He did.
This is 2 weeks in a row you mentioned something negative about Kavanaugh.
There's nothing else I have to say.
All right, that's fine.
Did.
All right, Frank.
My He Did of the week is dedicated to a guy who managed to spend $50.5 million on nothing, on absolutely nothing. Really just threw it out the window and just, he could have burned it. Like Floyd Mayweather does. He would have been better off. This guy's name is Isaiah Thomas. And why is he dead today? Because the Miami Heat have won the NBA Finals, and that just makes me sadder as a Knicks fan. I feel like going to the Tappan Zee with Bill. So pretty much, if you
take Bill,
if you want a background of what Isaiah did, he spent, on December 22nd, 2003, he was hired. Ever since then, the Knicks have been in financial disarray. He
sucked pretty much.
Yeah, you know how much money he spent on guys that played 82 total games? He spent, right here it says, he spent $120 million on players who totaled in their careers with the Knicks 82 games.
And Cheeseburger Eddie Curry spent half of that at the Port Chester McDonald's.
Cheeseburger Eddie Curry won a ring last night.
You know what that bought him?
That's a good week.
That bought him a trip right to the He Did.
Yeah, that's exactly it. He spent $180 million to be up on the He Dead board.
Yes, sir.
We're running out of time here. I want to really quickly, because we said we'd do it, I just want to announce that since we had Curtis on the show and we did the Hall of Fame segment, I want to announce really quickly around the room, we're not going to break down why, but I want to give our Hall of Shame inductees this week.
Oh, I can't wait for
Brian,
this.
Start it off with you.
And I hope my dad's listening too, but really quick, I started to live and die with the New York Jets during the 1990 season. Many of you may not remember my pick for the Hall of Shame, but I certainly know Jets fans my age and older will. This cornerback was drafted in the 3rd round of the 1990 draft, number 56 overall, by the New York Jets out of Tennessee State. He started 16 games in 1990, 7 games in 91 before we woke up and cut ties with him. He recorded a grand total of 2 interceptions with the Jets, though my fondest memories are him chasing down receivers at least 2 steps behind him. He was the cause of agita for my father every Sunday during the fall in my house.
And the meatballs, too.
And
the meatballs throw it all over
he's
the
been
place.
affectionately nicknamed by my uncle and my father Toast. Ladies and gentlemen, my inductee into the New York Jets Hall of Shame, a real fazul, number 45, Tony Stargell. Toast, nice. Tony Stargell. Thank you.
All right, Frank, quickly, let's run through these quick.
All right. It was a day that will live in infamy. The Jets traded with the Raiders for Doug Jolly, moving the Jets back from 26 to 47, and they got Doug Jolly and a pair of 6th-rounders, which are useless half the time anyway. Doug Jolly ended up doing absolutely nothing as he did the 3 years before, and I don't know why the Jets even got him. But yeah, within those picks from 26 to 47, you had Logan Mankins, Barrett Roode, Heath Miller, Roddy White, Michael Ross, and Lofa Tatupa.
Nice.
Being selected within those, picks. So that was what Doug Jolly was worth. One of those guys.
Congrats, Doug.
Tremendous.
Tremendous.
After a pretty successful term as the head coach of the Philadelphia Eagles, ended in an epic tailspin, Rich Kotite was somehow hired as the head coach of the Jets, and he led the team to a 3-13 season, which was followed by a 1-15 season.
Phenomenal.
And then he was finally stepped down as the head coach. And what's funny is that the next year, Bill Parcells led pretty much the same team to a 9-7 season. So,
and he looks like George Costanza.
And his
shirt
picture,
is terrible. Absolutely.
Rich
I think my dad has
his picture, which I guess will go on the website, is pretty fantastic.
Yeah, he's the epic pick of the Hall of Shame.
Oh, absolutely.
What do you got, Bill? Quickly.
We're kind of in the same time period here, but following 4 consecutive playoff appearances with the Pittsburgh Steelers, we signed this guy in 1995 for the 1995-96 season, Neil O'Donnell. To a 5-year, $25 million contract.
Money well spent.
Nice. Great job, Neil.
Not to be confused with Rosie O'Donnell.
Yeah.
And every time
Rosie might have been better.
Oh yeah. Every time Neil was on the sideline, as you saw in that picture, he was on the phone. Someone was yelling
on the
at
phone
him.
or on the ground.
All right, I'll wrap this up really quick with 3 words. We want Sap. That's all we can say.
Oh,
I'm
Kyle
inducting
Brady.
Kyle Brady into the Flight 5 Hall of Shame. That's why.
Ready?
The New York Jets select tight end from Penn State, Kyle Brady.
Where's Drew? I know Drew's watching us and cringing right now because he was at that.
Why would you get a tight end, a run blocking tight end, 9th overall? Why?
And the fact that we had Fred Baxter on the roster. And, I mean,
even if you wouldn't even get Jimmy Graham now 9th round if you knew his production. 9th pick. You wouldn't even get
drafted
him.
Johnny Mitchell 2 years ago in the first 2 years before.
That was the infamous year of the 3 tight end set we had.
I mean,
we were running 3 tight end sets.
He was a decent player, Kyle Brady. He had a long career, 13 years.
I like his name, Kyle Brady.
I mean, he's in the Hall of Shame mostly because of the Jets' fault, but it's also a lot of his fault because he was soft and he was no good. So, Kyle Brady, you round up the 2012 class of the Hall of Shame.
Wow. Tremendous class.
Tremendous class this year.
Absolutely.
Tremendous class.
Tremendous.
We will be back next Friday, same time, 7 o'clock, zenlive.tv, flight5live.com. Tweet us at 5 and Live. We're out of here. We're checking out for this week. We got Christine in the helmet over there for the creeps who wanted to see it for whatever reason. Anyway, we'll be back next Friday. Thanks for joining. Thanks for Curtis.
Thanks a lot, guys.
Too.
Take care.
We'll be back.
Oh my God.